All right, y'all ready? Mr. Ashby, are you ready? We'll call the meeting to order. Invocation, Alderman Ashby, please, sir.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for this day, Lord. We just ask that you would be with us during this meeting tonight, Lord, that we could get this budget done and get the city moving forward with your progress, Lord. We just ask you to be with us during this meeting. Keep it respectful. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Pledge of Allegiance. Alderman Reggie, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Okay, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Chuck Ashby. Here. Katie Chasson. Here. Brad Core.
Here.
Jeff Dorey. Here. Dickie Lachele. Here. Vernon Martin. Here. Sandy Marks. Here. Samuel Reggie.
Here.
Byron Wilridge. Here.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, we'll recess the council meeting and have public hearing for a couple of ordinances. We'll open the public hearing for proposed ordinance number 1544, an ordinance amending, adopting, as amended, finalizing, and implementing the annual operating budget of revenue and expenditures for the city of Crowley for the fiscal year beginning September 1st, 2023, and ending August 31st, 2024, and to provide for all matters relative thereto, and to repeal all ordinance or parts of ordinance inconsistent therewith or in conflict thereto.
Thank you, Mayor. First call for the proponents. Anyone wish to speak in favor of this ordinance, please come forward at this time to the microphone. State your name and address. First call. Second call for the proponents. Please come forward. Third and final call for the proponents. Anyone wish to speak at this time, please come forward. We go to the opponents now. Anyone wish to speak in opposition to this ordinance, please come forward to the mic and state your name and address, please, and make your statement. Second call for the opponents. Third and final call for the opponents. No one coming forward, Mayor. We close the public hearing on 1544 for the proposed ordinance.
Thank you, sir. We'll close 1544. We'll open the public hearing for proposed ordinance number 1545, an ordinance adopting, finalizing, and implementing the annual operating budgets of revenues and expenditures for the city of Crowley for the fiscal year beginning September 1st, 2024, and ending August 31st, 2025, and to provide for all matters relative thereto, and to repeal all ordinances or parts of ordinances inconsistent or in conflict therewith.
We'll use a similar process. Please come forward at this time. First call for the proponents. First call. Second call for the proponents. Anyone wish to speak in favor of the ordinance at this time? Third and final call for the proponents. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition at this time? This is the first call for the opponents. Second call. Third and final call. Mayor, we move to close this hearing at this time for 1545.
Thank you, sir. We'll open the public hearing for proposed ordinance number 1546, an ordinance to amend, supplement, and reenact section 3.13 of Article 3 of Appendix A of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Crowley to add subsection 3.1306, prohibiting the use and occupancy of tents, travel trailers, camper trailers, park model recreational vehicles, recreational park trailers, FEMA trailers, motor homes, or recreational vehicles as residents, to repeal all ordinance or parts of ordinance contrary thereto or in conflict therewith, to provide for the provisions hereof to be severable, and to provide for all matters relative thereto.
Same procedure as before. Please come forward at this time. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the ordinance? First call. Second call for the proponents. Third and final call for the proponents. Anyone wish to speak in favor? Now going to the opponents. Anyone wish to oppose this ordinance, please come forward at this time. First call. Second call for the opponents. third and final call for the opponents. Close the hearing Your Honor, on 1546.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on. Number 6, appearances, agenda amendments. I'd like to have the agenda amended for a couple of different things. One, we have a resolution, a proclamation, not a resolution, a proclamation for the Pinto Crowley American All-Star Champions Day. I'd like to add that to the meeting. Yes, please. Offered by Alderwoman Marks, second by Alderman Wilridge. Roll call.
Chuck Ashby. Yes. Katie Shazam.
Michael.
Brad Core.
Yes.
Jeff Dorey. Dickie Lodgley. Vernon Martin. Sandy Marks. Samuel Reggie, and Byron Woolridge. Sorry.
Thank you, ma'am. And And the next one is to appoint or approve the appointment of the administrative court judge, who would be Mr. Chris Arty. I said that right. This is to deal with the blight and trash and debris and things like that. Offered by Alderman Martin, second by Alderwoman Marks. Roll call, please.
Chuck Ashby.
Yes.
Katie Shazam. Yes. Brad Core.
Yes.
Jeff Dorey. Yes. Dickie Lodgley. Yes. Vernon Martin. Sandy Marks. Yes. Samuel Reggie. Yes. Byron Woolridge.
Okay. Thank you all. So we'll go ahead and do the proclamation now. We have some young men in here that have some jobs to do. I think they got some ball games or something still that they got to deal with. But if we can ask the Pinto Crowley American All-Star Champions to come up to the podium here, and the coaches, please. We can bring them in here. Yeah, y'all come on up here. Y'all come on up here.
Mayor, is our live feed not working? Okay.
What's up? Listen, y'all don't need to look at me. Y'all turn around and look at the people out there. We'll get the coaches behind y'all. All right. So, let me read this proclamation. It reads, whereas at all levels, athletics are effective avenues to develop self-discipline, initiative, confidence, and leadership skills. And whereas Pinto Crowley American All-Stars from the Tony Robichaux Sports Complex captured the title of South Zone World Series champions in the tournament held at the Youngsville Sports Complex. And whereas special commendation and honor is to coaches Kyle Hinskins, Michael Doty, Kyle Ritchie, Brian Dooley, and Greg Harmon. And whereas the city of Crowley is proud of the 31-0 record the Pinto All-Stars have earned and the fine publicity they have brought to our community by their good sportsmanship and inspired team play. And whereas recognizing all of the team members as ambassadors representing the Crowley area, promoting community pride and family participation in youth sports activities, while gathering memories of a lifetime and in celebrating this accomplishment with these remarkable and talented young people, and wish this team all of the best in the future. And now, therefore, I, Chad Monso, Mayor of the City of Crowley, Louisiana, do hereby declare July 20th, 2024 as Pinto Crowley American All-Star Champions Day, and call upon the citizens of Crowley to join me in extending congratulations to the players and coaches of this outstanding team. Now, in case y'all didn't hear that, they are undefeated. 31 games in a row they won, and they lost 0. All the pictures, y'all good? All right. Thank y'all. Absolutely. Thank y'all. And listen, while these coaches are also dads, I want to thank y'all for participating and investing in not only your children, but the other children on these teams and our recreation department. It takes you men like y'all to do it, so we appreciate y'all. Thank you. Oh, hold on. I have a copy for each team member and the coaches of the proclamation. So, and here's Katie. Save one of those and let me give them the original. Kyle, hold on a second. All right. Thank you all again. All right, now appointments. I'd like to offer the nomination of Mr. Chris Arty as the administrative judge for the City of Crowley Administrative Court. I need a motion and a second. Offered by Alderwoman Sandy, second by Alderman Core. Roll call, please.
Chuck Ashby. Katie Chasson. Brad Core. Jeff Dorey. Dickie Lachele. Vernon Martin. Sandy Marks. Samuel Reggie. Byron Wilridge.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Quick explanation what this does. Mr. Chris, thank you for wanting to, or accepting that nomination and that appointment. I look forward to working with you. This is the first step of enacting the ordinance that was put into place in the last administration to help us take care of the blight and trash and things of that sort around our city. And Chris is an attorney in Lafayette, but he also has an office here in Crowley and actually lives here in the city of Crowley. And he has been begging to help us in any way we want to use him. So we're giving him the opportunity. Mr. Chris, you want to say something? Push the green button over there.
I don't know if I've begged, but I'm happy to be a part of the city. I am from Lafayette. I do tell everybody now my hometown is Crowley. I've been associated with Crowley for some time now, and many people did mistake that I was from Crowley. Most of my law school classmates thought I was, so I figured might as well move here. Very thankful for the opportunity, thankful for the council for, approving my appointment, and doing so without requiring me to testify as if I was in front of Congress. Looking forward to working with everybody. I don't take the position lightly. I know it's a very serious matter, and it will be contentious at points, but rest assured I'll be researched and prepared, and look forward to making my hometown a better place.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, approval of minutes. Offered by Alderman Martin, second by Alderman Wilridge. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Mayor's report, sales tax chart. We got a whole lot of paperwork up here. All right. All right, let's see. Sales tax chart. You have the trend also attached with it. We are, for the return month of June, collection month of July at $824,965. Last year, same time was $899,743. So, obviously, again, our increase in sales taxes has leveled out over the past 4 years of increasing or more. And sewer user fees, you got the same charts. July, 190,4027, over last year, 199,577. Well, you also have the status report of audit findings for fiscal year 2023, which is one of the requirements because of the findings. And we continue to work on fixing those audit findings so we don't have them in the future. Chantel says she does not want any findings, and I agree with her. Budget to actual comparison you have in your packet also. Okay. Standing committee reports. Public Works Committee, Alderman Doré, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Public Works Committee convened Tuesday, August 13th, 2024, 5 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. Motion was made by Alderwoman Sandy Marks and seconded by Alderman Brad Core to award contracts for fiscal year 2024-2025 material purchases for the period of September the 1st, 2024 through February 28th in accordance with the city engineer's bid tabulation and recommendations. Motion carried, not so moved.
Offered by Alderman Doré, second by Alderman Martin. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Under non-action items, Public Works Director Albert John presented his monthly report. Street Commissioner Wesley Jacobs presented his monthly report. City Engineer Tim Mader had nothing to report for this committee, and no further business to come before Public Works Committee. We recessed.
Thank you, sir. Let's see, Utility Committee, Alderman Martin, please.
Thank you, sir. Once again, if y'all can't understand, dealing with a slightly fractured jaw, so I'll push through it. Okay, Utility Committee convened Tuesday, August 13th. Quorum was present. Under action items, a motion was made by Alderwoman Sandy Marks and second by Alderman Jeff Dorey to approve wastewater treatment facilities, recent removal and abandoned ultraviolet disinfectant system equipment and supply as surplus. I got, just slow your roll. Motion carried and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Martin. Second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion was made by myself and second by Alderman Jeff Dorey to authorize Mayor Chad Marshall to enter into a CEA with the City of Rain to convey the ultraviolet disinfectant system equipment and supplies to the City of Rain. Motion carried and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Martin, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion? Yes, sir.
So is Rain gonna rebuild it and use it, or what would they do with it?
They'll use parts of it. They have the same system, same disinfection system, so they'll use parts. Our new system doesn't use those parts anymore. Different parts. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion was made by myself, and second by Alderwoman Sandy Marks to approve partial payment number 5 in the amount of $70,225.05 to Volute Incorporated for the new ultraviolet disinfectant system at the wastewater treatment facility project. Motion carried, and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Martin, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion was made by myself and second by Alderwoman Sandy Marks to approve the resolution of termination for the construction contract with Volute Incorporated for the new ultraviolet disinfectant system at the wastewater treatment facility project. Motion carried and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Martin, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion was made by myself and second by Alderwoman Sandy Marks to approve the construction plans and specification for the renovated I'm reading it as it is, renovated the existing duckweed pond and modular insulated cover project and authorize the advertisement for bids. Motion carried and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Martin, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, last meeting you had mentioned how this was going to be funded. I think one by a grant, leftover grant money, and then another.
Yes, primarily by ARPA funds.
ARPA? Okay, all right, good. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion was made by myself and second by Alderwoman Sandy Marks to approve partial payment number 18 in the amount of $8,170 to NCMC LLC for the LCDBG fiscal year 2020-2021 rehabilitation of the sewer collector system project. I guess the motion carried and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Martin, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Under non-action item, wastewater superintendent Tim Crater presented his monthly report, and city engineer Tim Mader presented his report to the council. And there being no further business to come before the utility committee, the committee recess.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Recreation Committee, Alderman Ashby, please.
The Recreation Committee convened Tuesday, August 13th, 2024, at 5 p.m. in the council chambers, and a quorum was present. Under action items, there was none. Under non-action items, Recreation Director Zach Duyal presented the monthly Recreation Department report. City Engineer Tim Mater had nothing to report for the Recreation Committee. There was no further business to come before the Recreation Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Zoning Annexation, Alderman Reggie, please.
Thank you. Zoning and Annexation Committee convened Tuesday, August 13th, 2024, 5 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. Under action items, there was none, and under non-action items, there was none. And there was no further business to come before Zoning and Annexation Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety, Alderman Core.
Thank you, Mayor. The Public Safety Committee convened Tuesday, August 13th, 2024, at 5 p.m. in the council chambers, and a quorum was present. Under action items, a motion was made by myself and seconded by Alderman Jeff Dorey to consider approving a Class A beer and liquor permit for Reggie's Downtown, Crowley. The motion carried, and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Core. Second, anybody? Second by Alderman Ashby. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alderman Reggie recuses. One last time, huh?
Next, a motion was made by myself and seconded by Alderman Jeff Dorey to consider approving a Class B beer and liquor permit for MM1 Mart Incorporated. The motion carried, and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Core, second by Alderman Wilridge. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Under non-action items, Chief
You
of
have-
Police.
You have one that didn't go to committee. Sorry
Oh,
about
I'm
that.
sorry. Let's see.
Approval of Mikey's Seafood and Specialty Meats, Class B.
Thank you. Yes, and
And you have that in your packet.
yes, this would be for approval of a 2024 Class B beer and liquor permit for Mikey's Seafood and Specialty Meats LLC, located at 165 Oddfellows Road, Suite A, and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Core, second by Alderwoman Chasson. Discussion?
Yes, Mayor, just like to indicate for the record, we do have the application. It's a new application, and it's signed by all the required parties with the city, as
Thank
well
you,
as the
sir.
Chief of Police.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alderman Reggie recuses.
On the
Motion
non-
carries.
On the non-action items, Chief of Police Troy Hebert was absent from the meeting, and I read his report. Fire Chief Louis Romero was not present. City Inspector Tony Duhon was not present. Yuri Lewis was included on the agenda to discuss the 18-wheeler parking ordinance, but was not present during the meeting. There was no further action to come before the Public Safety Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Public Buildings, Alderman Wilridge, please, sir.
Public Buildings Committee convened Tuesday, August 13th at 2024 at 5 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. Under action items, a motion was made by myself to table to approve a change in the name of the Dr. Martin Luther King Park to Dr. Martin Luther King / Bishop James Proctor Neighborhood Park, West 7th Street. Motion carried, and I so move.
You don't need to make any motion on that.
I agree with you.
Thank you, sir.
A motion was made by Alderman Core and second by Alderman Dorey to approve construction plans, specifications for the parking provision in downtown Crowley project. It authorizing the advertising of bids contingent upon reviewing by the Louisiana Office of Facility Planning and Control. Motion carried, and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Wilridge, second by Alderman Dorey. Discussion? Mr. Martin? Yes, sir.
Were there any thought as far as the splash pad?
it is still in the plan, and it will be bid on. It's depends on the money, you know, how much. What I'm hopeful for is that the architects are putting enough money in there, because what the cost of this project currently is a guess, an estimation by the architects. And so we have to put it out for bids so we know exactly what these bids are going to come back at. My hopes are that they'll come back so that we can, we have enough money left over. There's also some contingency money in there, and I'm hopeful that we'll have enough money in there to do the whole thing.
Well, my main thing, like I said, and I hope everybody understand on this council, I'm looking out for the kids, okay? Reasoning, I'm all for the project, don't get me wrong, I'm all for it, and you know, bless you, and hope everything turns out, but at the end of the day, I'm still looking out for the kids, okay? I want to make sure that they have something that they can go to without having any pauses, whether it be the rental of the pavilion or what have you.
Sure.
Something that they can plan for during that season. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Real quick, just as information on number one, we did get information back that there is a state law that prohibits naming a public building, park, streets, anything that is public, owned by the public, after a living person. So we were unable to do that anyway.
Under non-action,
Yes, sir.
Louis Staby Jr., who is the architect for the pavilion, spoke about pavilion plans for the city. And Tony Clemens spoke against the change of the Martin Luther King Park. The White Poulard would like to honor Bishop Proctor in some other way. Mr. Poulard went on to say that the Proctors have a great help in the community, but he does not want to see the park name change. Stanley Poulard also said that he does not want the name of the Dr. Martin Luther King Park change. Bishop Proctor said that he does not want to remove Dr. Martin Luther King name from the park. He wanted something left behind in remembrance of him when he departed from this earth. Ms. Proctor said they wanted to make improvements at the park, but would like to recognize Bishop Proctor for his improvements. Ladies represent Delta Sigma Theta sorority want updates on improvement at the Martin Luther King Center, blighted property for the city of Crowley. They also wanted to invite the council and the public to an event that will be held at the MLK Center on August 24th from 2 to 5 p.m., calling for votes, your voice. No further business became public business, so we reset.
Chief, have you spoken with Delta Sigma Theta ladies? Okay, all right. To the MLK Center on the 24th. Y'all have something planned there too? Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's good. I just want to make sure, because I was talking to them last night, want to make sure that they were able to get with you. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Alderman Woolridge. Insurance and personnel, Alderwoman Marks, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The Insurance and Personnel Committee convened Tuesday, August the 13th, 2024 at 5 p.m. in the council chamber. A quorum was present. Under the action items, Alderwoman Sandy Marks made a motion, and it was seconded by Alderman Dickey Latchley to approve the record retention schedule. Motion carried, and I so move.
Offered by Alderwoman Marks, second by Alderman Latchley. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
There were action items at this time, and so the committee recessed.
Thank you, ma'am. Community and Economic Development, Alderwoman Chasson, please.
Thank you. The Community and Economic Development Committee convened Tuesday, August 13th, 2024, 5 o'clock p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. There were no action items. Under non-action items, Alderwoman Katie Chasson spoke about upcoming events in Crowley. There was no further action to come before the Community and Economic Development Committee. The committee recessed.
Thank you, ma'am. Revenue and Finance, Alderman Lachele, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The Revenue Finance Committee convened Tuesday, August 13th, 2024, 5 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. There were no reports to be read, there were no action items, and there were no non-action items. With no other action provided by the committee, the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor.
Oh, we do.
We do.
We do have resolutions. We do have resolutions. Ordinances. A resolution, yes, okay. So let's do those resolutions. Yes,
All
yes.
right, the clock's running. Okay,
We'll double your lunch break.
all right, okay. Okay, these items, both of them did not go to the committee, so they're going to be attached tonight. Item number 1, to adopt the adjusted millage rates. A resolution to adopt a resolution adopting the adjusted millage rates for general alimony, streets, roads, highways, avenues, public buildings, drainage, public parks, recreation, wastewater disposal facilities, cemetery, and the youth recreation building in the city of Crowley for the tax year 2024, and I so move.
Offered by,
It needs to be a roll call.
offered by Alderman Lachele, second by Alderman Martin,
Okay.
correct?
Okay, does it have to be a roll call vote?
Yes.
Okay, done.
Roll call, please.
Sorry, I was thinking it was the other way around. Never mind.
Good.
Chuck Ashby? Yes. Katie Chasson? Yes. Brad Core?
Yes.
Jeff Dorey? Dickie Lachele? Vernon Martin? Sandy Marks? Samuel Reggie? Byron Woolridge?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 2. To set forth the adjusted millage rates and roll forward to the millage rates not exceeding the maximum authorized rates. To approve a resolution which sets forth the adjusted millage rates for the general alimony, streets, roads, highways, avenues, public buildings, drainage, public parks, recreation, wastewater disposal facilities, cemetery, and youth recreation building, and roll forward to millage rates not exceeding the maximum authorized rates in the city of Crowley for tax year 2024, and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Lachele, second by Alderman Martin. Discussion? Roll call.
Chuck Ashby? Katie Chasson? Brad Core? Jeff Dorey? Dickie Lachele? Vernon Martin? Sandy Marks? Samuel Reggie? Byron Woolridge?
Thank you.
Okay. With no other business to come before the Revenue and Finance Committee, the committee recess.
Now you're done. Thank you, Alderman Lachele. Okay. Ordinances. An ordinance number 1544, an ordinance amending, adopting as amended, finalizing, and implementing the annual operating budget of revenue and expenditures for the city of Crowley for the fiscal year beginning September 1st, 2023, and ending August 31st, 2024, and to provide for all matters relative thereto, and to repeal all ordinances or parts of ordinances inconsistent therewith or in conflict thereto. This is the amendment of the current operating budget. Offered by Alderwoman Marks, second by Alderman Lachele. Discussion. All in favor? Well, roll call, I'm sorry.
Chuck Ashby? Yes. Katie Chasson? Yes. Brad Core?
Yes.
Jeff Dorey? Yes. Dickie Lachele? Yes. Vernon Morton. Sandy Marks. Samuel Reggie. Byron Woolridge. Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, to consider ordinance number 1545, an ordinance adopting, finalizing, and implementing the annual operating budgets of revenues and expenditures for the city of Crowley for the fiscal year beginning September 1st, 2024, and ending August 31st, 2025, and to provide for all matters relative thereto, and to repeal all ordinances or parts of ordinances inconsistent or in conflict therewith. Offered by Alderwoman Marks, second by Alderman Lachele. Discussion.
Mayor, I'd like to
Yes, sir.
just state for the record, over the past several weeks, I've carefully reviewed the budget presented to the council. Throughout this process, I had several questions and concerns. After corresponding with our city clerk and meeting with her on 2 occasions, I'm pleased to report that all of my concerns have been addressed and my questions answered, enabling me to confidently approve the proposed 2025 budget. I would like to extend my gratitude to you and your staff for being fully transparent and providing all the necessary information to ensure a well-informed decision. Thank you.
Thank you. It was absolutely a pleasure to visit with most of you coming in City Hall. And answering those questions and learning together, honestly. Mr. Reggie, yes, sir.
Yeah, so when I guess when I sat down and talked to her, there was a couple more questions, and I don't think you were at City Hall that day. So I guess the question is with the infrastructure fund being lower than what it probably should be because we're spending money on stuff, are we gonna start cutting some of the projects back or to try to get the number back up?
Infrastructure fund continuously is fed, I guess you would say. It currently or got up to about $10 million, and it is beginning to come down because the payments from the street overlay project is starting to come out of there. We did ask for $300,000 for the pavilion. We asked for $150,000, and this is all from infrastructure fund, for the Martin Luther King Center for repairs and maintenance there. And we asked for $1.9 million for the VFW Drive expansion project, I guess you would call it, for sewer, drainage, and street construction. All of which is planned to actually feed the infrastructure fund some more. Economic development. Obviously, the pavilion is expected to draw people from out of town with events and things going on there. Also, obviously, to give our people, our citizens, something they can be proud of. But hopeful that even as those people from out of town visit our pavilion, that they'll see our city and be welcomed by our people and hopefully maybe choose to live here one day. So I look at that as an economic development tool. But the VFW Drive, which is the largest price tag, would be the $1.9 million, obviously is an economic development tool because of the businesses that are going to be there. It's all commercial property. One is expected to be completed October-ish. And so that too will then increase sales tax revenue, which feeds the infrastructure fund. I don't know what the prime number is to keep in that infrastructure fund. And I'm open to suggestions. But, you know, at some point, when you have a fund that builds up to $10 million, I think it's important to start using that money for those projects that it is built to fund. we have a lot of infrastructure that's been neglected for many, many years. Drainage is one of them that we are trying to tackle also, that we'll be asking for some money from the infrastructure fund for. The roads were overlaid, previous administration that started. It went through into our term now, and those payments, paying the bonds, come out of that fund. It's estimated, Mr. Mayor may be able to help me remember this number, but somewhere around the $5 to $6 million range should be the lowest point that it is estimated to get if we continue on the same track of collecting the sales taxes and spending the money on the projects that are planned for that as of this moment. Now, obviously, over the life of the bonds. Okay, so the next 20, 25 years, yes. Okay. So that's the lowest point, and then of course it's planned to get down to that point and then start coming back up even before the bonds are completely being paid for. I hope that answers your question. I don't know. Obviously, economic development, getting more people to our city, to spend more money in our city. Our city, obviously, I don't have to tell you this. You're well aware that our city doesn't have utilities besides sewer, but we don't have electric and water companies like other cities. So our sole revenue is property taxes and sales taxes. And that's what drives our economy. So the more people we get here, the more opportunities we have to attract people to our city, the more opportunities we have to collect those things. And the sales taxes directly impacts the infrastructure fund.
Yeah, I think where I'm at with it is, I think the last time we had the vote on the infrastructure, whenever, I think it failed, and then they put it back on the ballot.
Oh, the renewal of the tax.
So
Yes,
that's
sir.
where my concern is, really, because I don't want it to get too low, and then if it fails again, what do we do to have to pay all that back?
It is a real concern. That is something that I think it's in 27, 26, 27, I think it comes up for renewal. I think it's important that we educate our people over the next couple of years what the infrastructure fund provides to our city, what it has provided over the years, and that the renewal is important. It's not a new tax or an additional tax. It would be a renewal when it comes up on the ballot. So we have to do our job at educating our people and explaining to them what those funds were used for over the years, so that they know.
And I understand that too. I guess my second question would also go under general fund too, because I think we started around 2.7, we're down to about 1.5, give or take, if we pass this. So the other concern would be is what happens if we have a recession, because that's possible too. I mean, I know we can't live in ifs, but what is the plan if things start going bad?
It's a real if concern. You know, Mr. Reggie, I've been a city employee for 20 plus years, and I've been through one layoff for sure. I think I've been through 2 layoffs in the city, and that's a dirty word that nobody wants to talk about. But you know, the overall economy of our country, we can't. Besides our vote at the poll for who we think should be the president to drive that economy, there's not a whole lot we can do about it. And in the unfortunate event that the economy does crash, and that day will come again, as it does, you know, every so often. We have to make cuts, just like we do at home. Unfortunately, the reason you always hear of layoffs as cuts is because salaries is the largest expense of the city. And so, you know, we can stop planting flowers, and we can even stop cutting grass. We can stop multiple things, but those are small expenses in the grand scheme of things. So that's why it's always talked about layoffs in those situations. And look, I want, you know, we're talking about this, and it's probably already started on Facebook. The city's talking about layoffs. That is not the truth. That is not happening. That is a what if situation.
What if?
You know, I'll tell you that I will continue to work with each one of you as hard as we possibly can to continue strengthening our economy, attracting people to our city, and doing my best to work with you all to help prevent that from happening if at all possible. The fund balance decrease. So I know Chantel told me that there was a couple of other council members that asked for the same thing, but it's you can't really do that because we've got different funding sources that are dedicated funds. But you know, at first I asked Chantel, I said, I want to know how much money we collect and how much money we spending and what's left. But you can't do that. You can do that for each fund, each dedicated fund, but you can't do that overall because, you know, salary fund may be depleted, and the you know, the Parks and Recs may have a surplus. Neither one of them got a surplus, but so you, but it doesn't mean that you, even if the Parks and Recs has a $5 million surplus and salaries has a $500,000 deficit, you can't take any of that $5 million and put it on salaries because it's dedicated to Parks and Recs. And so we can't have a final income and expense number. So we have to look at each individual fund. I will tell you though that this this budget does include a 3% salary increase across the board for every employee in this city. So that is included in this budget.
So I guess my final question would be, if the police department automatically gets a 2%, fire department automatically gets 2%, how come the city workers themselves don't get an automatic 2%?
So the fire department is mandated by state statute 3 years. If you're in your third year through your 23rd year, you get your mandated 2% salary increase. If you're in your first and second year, you're not mandated. If you're in your 24th or longer, you're not mandated. You're mandated a 2% salary increase for 20 years, beginning your third year. Police department, last year, with their salary increase that they received last year, the police chief asked to add that as a city ordinance. It's not a state statute. Right. It is now a city ordinance that the police department has the same requirements. I'll tell you that, I mean, I would love to do that, and we're doing it this year. Now understand that police and fire are mandated 2%. Every employee is proposed 3%. Police and fire will get 3%, not their 2 plus 3. So they don't get 5. They'll only get 3. They're mandated at least 2. So every employee is proposed 3%. I think it's not done that way because what if you can't afford to give every employee in the city 2% or 3% next year? Do you start laying people off because you can't give them that, or do you not give them that and keep them on? It's a much larger number than fire and police, to give that salary increase. Now, I'll tell you this, that it's a lower expense to give other city employees the salary increase than it is for fire and police. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but if when people, I ask people often, how much sales taxes do you think the city of Crowley collects? And they say, well, 10.5%. No, the city of Crowley doesn't collect really any. The school board collects 10.5%. The Katy Parish School Board collects 10.5% within the city of Crowley, but the city of Crowley only gets 2.5% of that. And some of those halves are dedicated. And so what that would do, if we would put into law that every employee every year would get 2% or 3% or 5% or whatever it may be, then we're dedicating more funds that can't be spent anywhere else. 1/2 cent sales tax, 1/2 of a penny sales tax. 1/3 goes to fire, 1/3 goes to police, and 1/3 goes to all other city employees. For salaries only. That 1/2 cent. So now you're down to 2% sales tax. There's another 1/2 cent that goes to, I think it's recreation infrastructure. Half of that goes to infrastructure. Now we're down to 1.5. 1% of the 2.5 that we collect is dedicated. It cannot be spent on anything else. If we need a culvert, we can't take, if there's $10 million, which again, that fund for the salaries is never $10 million, but if there's $10 million in there, we can't buy a culvert with it just because it's sitting there. I'll give you one quick little history of that 1/3 of 1/2% for each department. The firefighters years ago fought for it to be just for salary increases, not fringes, not promotional increases or any of that. And the firefighters went through to the Supreme Court and won the judgment. Look, Tom's sitting over here saying yes. But since then Mayor Greg Jones got it put back onto the ballot and got it changed to any portion of the salary because it was, again, a double-edged sword. The firefighters fought for it. They won that fight. But then when they said, okay, now we got funds in this fund, we got a balance in this fund, now give us a salary increase. Because that was always the answer. We need a raise. Well, find us the money. Well, we found the money, but we didn't find it all. Because of that judgment, they couldn't use it on fringes. Well, guess what? I can afford, that fund will afford the salary increase, but the city doesn't have the money for the fringes. So it was kind of a double-edged sword there. It's a juggling act. And I'll tell you, this is my first budget. I honestly, because the other two, I walked into one and then we copied and pasted the one we're currently in. All right. But I'll tell you that without Christy Dunn, our CPA, and Chantel, it would not have been able to happen. It is extremely daunting. There's a lot of detail, and that's why I've encouraged each and every one of you to come in, sit down, and talk about it. Chuck and Zach were in there today, actually, and Brad were in there today with Chantel. And of course, I kind of hijacked their meeting with other information, but it's a lot. I told Chantel and Christine that that's the least that I wanted to leave in the fund balance. I'd like it to be $2 million, but 1.4, 1.5, somewhere around in there would be the least that I would like to see in there, because we need to have a cushion, because
Well, it's always, it's not if something's gonna happen.
it's when. It's when,
It's always when.
absolutely.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Yes, sir, Mr. Martin?
I think, Jeff, you was on the council then. The way we handled it, and we were part of that firefighters, battle. I still call it a battle. We lost the battle and the war, and it put the city on the hook. Now, I remember, Tom, that we had many discussions about that back then. But to answer your question in the shorter version, it's a crapshoot. Just to give you an idea what's going on VFW Drive or what have you, you just hope that, and you got it in the right economic development scheme, you just hope that it pans out. And I'm pretty sure once Karshner's open their doors, it's going to pay for itself. And, well, the business that this organization have, I'm pretty sure it's going to pay for itself. And then if just that one establishment does real good, then everything else comes in as an omniop. Who knows, we might get a Chick-fil-A or whatever, just, you never know. But it's a long shot. I mean, we
sure
just do the
hope
best
so.
we can. Well, I mean,
That would be nice.
they usually follow one another. So I hope that give you a little insight on it. But it's nothing but a crapshoot. That's all it is. You just hope for the best.
Mayor, I'd like to
Yes,
make a
ma'am.
statement if I could.
Yes,
As chairwoman of the Personnel and Insurance Committee, and I'm not a veteran here like some of you council people, and getting my water rings, and I can talk about horses for hours and bore you to death, but this is convoluted and it's complex, and learning how a municipality runs. I want to thank the mayor and Chantel, my fellow council women and men, and for sharing and doing the due diligence, our citizens and our stakeholders. I made a few notes because I'm trying to, I mean, y'all can talk off the top of your head about this subject because you have experience. And I've called the mayor, I've talked to city council. We kind of hashed this out going forward over the budget, trying to get a working knowledge of it. And I'd like to express the significance of a 3% employee increase. While it's modest, it's well-deserved to recognize our employees' hard work, however small. It's going to put beans on their table at a time. It may put, turkey on their table, or Christmas presents, or pay for medical. And it is our prudent investment in the city for the future. It may boost their morale because they may be motivated and increase productivity. It may give them benefits in other areas that we can't give. We'd like to give everybody like $100,000, but we can't. So this is a beginning to say to our employees that we are investing in you, what it takes to make your job better, and that we care. It helps keep pace with the inflation. Everybody's got a rate. You either cut back, tighten the belt, or you spend when it's good. Take a vacation if you can. We have a competitive job market. We don't want to lose good people because we can't sustain them with better benefits and a better salary. Even our lowest paid employees work blood, sweat, and tears every day out in the field doing the work to make Crowley a better place, a cleaner place, a more prosperous place, and a place that people would like to move to, set up business, and live here. In supporting the passing of this initiative, it demonstrates a commitment and solidarity to our employees' success, their well-being. It's an investment in our city's prosperity and future growth. I want to thank the council members who have diligently reviewed the city budget this past week as we go forward, and excited to say that what we know to be the best practices of finally a fiscally balanced budget, and hoorah for us. And that's my sentiments on this. Thank you, everyone, for your input. I learned a lot today.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm done.
Thank you. Any more discussion? All in, roll call. And we're, just a reminder, we're voting on the proposed 24-25 budget.
Chuck Ashby. Yes. Katie Shasso. Yes. Brad Core.
Yes.
Jeff Dorey. Dickie Lodgley. Vernon Martin. Sandy Marks. Samuel Reggie. Byron Woolridge. Motion passed.
Thank you. Okay, to consider ordinance number 1546, an ordinance to amend, supplement, and reenact section 3.13 of Article 3 of Appendix A of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Crowley to add subsection 3.1306, prohibiting the use and occupancy of tents, travel trailers, camper trailers, park model recreational vehicles, recreational park trailers, FEMA trailers, motor homes, or recreational vehicles as residences, to repeal all ordinances or parts of ordinances contrary thereto or in conflict therewith, to provide for the provisions hereof to be severable, and to provide for all matters relative thereto. Offered by Alderman Martin.
Second.
Second by Alderman Wilridge. Discussion. Yes, sir. Mr. Martin, go ahead.
The state gonna supersede, right, so if there's a hurricane or what have you, we go under, okay, I just wanna make sure that that's
Yes,
part of it.
The mayor and I are aware of that. In fact, we looked
Right.
at the notification. They were again late this year. They forget about it, and they don't allow us to travel. We've already, we anticipated that when we adopted the budget.
Put your microphone on.
Right,
When we adopted the ordinance, and gave authority for the, continuing authority for the city to release, in the event of a presidential declaration, that ordinance is suspended, and people can use those during that period of the emergency declaration for that disaster.
yeah, I just don't want, the public to think that we gonna be the ones to tell them not to when, in case of emergency, that's
No,
pretty much.
yeah, correct. That is, what Step is talking about is, a couple of years back, the city, enacted an ordinance that allows those specific, structures to be utilized as a temporary residence, during, declared emergencies, presidentially declared emergencies. So in other words, a hurricane or storm that comes through our city, and the city has an ongoing ordinance that will allow that to be, this ordinance basically to be suspended and allow the temporary housing in those structures. Chief?
Should we add something like a makeshift tent or something, like if they build something out of cardboard or something? Could we add that in there also?
Microphone.
Parts of the code can be repealed under the federal law and the state law. So we have the ability to allow structures that are safe and sound to be utilized as temporary structures, temporary residences, by suspending parts of the zoning ordinance as well as the building codes. Only insofar as the reason these are named like this is because they're the ones that are qualified by state law and federal law to house people. You can't let people into something that could be a problem.
But I think what Chief is saying, if someone makes a tent out of cardboard or tarp or, some rope hanging from a tree with a tarp hanging from it, it's a makeshift tent, basically. Would it fall under this saying you can't live in that?
I don't think it falls under this. It's gotta be a temporary, it's gotta be a,
No, we're not talking about.
No, this. I'm not talking about the temporary. I'm talking about this ordinance.
That we're voting on now,
Would it
would
be,
that fit in that description?
would it be considered a tent?
no. But this, in no way can you use a tent as a residence because it doesn't comply with the city code as it is.
There's the other code provisions that would address
Yeah, you have that
Okay.
prohibited already.
Okay.
Certificates of occupancy. I don't think if someone puts a cardboard box on a city lot, that they can live there under the existing ordinances.
Okay. All right.
Mayor.
Thank you.
It's covered under the building code. You have to get, the inspector has to issue that certificate of occupancy before they can occupy that spot.
Okay.
Mayor,
Mr. Core.
I think what Chief is referring to as well is there are storage buildings that are attached or behind the residence, designed for storage, but we have people actually living in there
some of
now.
them. Yes.
So, but that, our existing ordinance would cover, that prohibit that.
Microphone.
That is occurring, the city inspector needs to be made aware of it, and they can make an inspection, and they can order these people to leave, and the city court can enforce that ordinance.
Thank you.
Just to the extent that those buildings don't satisfy existing code.
Right.
Can't be lived in, correct. Mr. Reggie?
So I know we have some problems in our district with some of this, so let's say we pass this tonight, would that go into effect starting in the morning? When does this?
30 days.
You got 30 days before this
Yes.
starts? And then what would happen? We'd have to let Tony know and then he'd just go write him a ticket or write him a ticket?
Yes, sir. It would be a code enforcement, yes, sir.
But would the city have to evict them out of their own, maybe?
Probably,
Okay.
yeah. There's still a lot of legal issues to go through with that. That's the bad part. Mr. Rich?
I think he just answered my question. I was wondering if there's going to be any grandfathering of people that already live in dwellings like this.
No.
All right. Thanks.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm sorry, roll call. Roll call. We're gonna get it right.
Chuck Ashby. Katie Chasson. Brad Core.
Yes.
Jeff Dorey. Dickie Lachele. Vernon Martin. Sandy Marks. Samuel Reggie.
Yes, please.
Byron Wilridge.
Thank you. Thank you. Resolutions, we're all done with. Proclamations, we're done with. Engineers report, he is done too. Motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Yes, sir. Hold on a second. Microphone. Oh, yes, so, and I just went to, the funeral home at 2. One of our retired, fire district chiefs, passed away this past weekend. Elizabeth Chick Benwell, many of you know her as Chick. She passed, this past weekend, so if you would, keep her and her family in your prayers. She retired, from the fire department, as a district chief. Thank you. Motion by Alderman Core, second by Alderwoman Chasson. All in favor? Opposed?